Hi, my name is Brandi, the host of My Real Wedding, where we will be chatting about the wedding planning experience, the good, the bad, and the real. This is my friend Alyncia. She is a professional photographer in Houston, as well as the owner or leader of Tablescapes of Houston. So today's episode is going to be really great and unique because we're going to start off asking her about her love story and just kind of getting to know her experience with her wedding planning when she got married. But also we're going to jump in and talk about style shoots because we both do style shoots on our own. And then we also tend to work a lot together.
Teamwork.
Yeah. And when we do, it's just like, it's always so good.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to kind of talk about some of our shoots that we've done to give brides and watchers some inspiration of wedding ideas that we've come up with or been inspired by others to kind of inspire you. So let's just jump right into it because I feel like we have a lot of stuff we want to talk about. And you could just start by telling us, how about a little bit about you first before we jump into your marriage and all of that. So who is Alyncia?
Okay, so my name is Alyncia Dennis, and like she said, I am a wedding photographer based out of Houston, Texas, and I am married to my husband, Justin. We've been married now for 6 years. It'll be 7 at the end of this year. We have one little boy. Definitely love my family. I guess it's appropriate to say for this that I am a super cheeseball, hopeless romantic. I love everything about love. I love everything about weddings. So I'm not surprised that I'm a wedding photographer at all.
Well, why don't you tell people, in case you're looking for a photographer, your info on your business, and then we can...
if you're looking for a wedding photographer, even though we're based out of Houston, Texas, we do travel. We do destination weddings. We will come to different states. So you can always find us online at www.cinephotography.com. Our Facebook page, our Instagram page, they're all connected. They're all the same. Everything is still tied to Cine Photography. That's SENAE Photography.
I've known you for a while, what do you think? A little over a year, maybe? And I feel like we're close, but I don't really know your love story, so I'm excited to ask you. So tell us, how did you meet Justin?
So one day he saw me walking and he fell to the ground and was just like, "You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life." And yeah, totally not true. Okay, so this is what happened. So the church that he goes to and the church that I go to, we're kind of I don't know what to call it. We call them covenant churches, but sister churches, the two churches just do stuff together when it comes to special services, anniversaries, stuff like that. So even from when we were really, really young, and our churches would have big events and functions, we would see each other. But we were little, we didn't know each other, we weren't friends or anything like that. It wasn't until later in life, he was actually a youth leader at his church and I was a youth leader at my church. We took our kids to a conference. So a lot of the youth leaders, we actually went bowling after the youth conference and just became really, really good friends. Me and Justin, my husband now, were both in that group. Justin actually hated my laugh. And he was so annoyed by me all the time. And he was just like, "Why are you so freaking loud?" All the time. We would go out to eat and he'd be like, "You have got to pipe down," And our friends, I guess, we're just "Have you ever thought about you and Alyncia?" And he would be like, literally the last person on earth. No. Then apparently something just changed. And all of our friends still tell us to this day that one day he came to them was just "I really like her." And they were like, "What? You forgot about the laugh?" And so, but I don't know. We started talking, we started dating, and we got engaged later that same year, married the year after that. So
awesome. And how did the proposal happen? Did he propose? Did you propose?
No, I did not
or just
propose.
agreed?
I did not. It was really sweet. So it was for Christmas. I am in love with Christmas, so he wanted to propose on Christmas. See, I love you. Yes. And I thought he was out of town. That's what he told me. But really, he had this whole thing planned out. Literally, my entire family was there. And my dad and one of our best friends, they're like, hey, we need you to come sit in the middle of the living room floor. The video is Justin. And so he's just like, babe, I'm really sorry that I couldn't be here with you, but I just wanted to tell you that I love you and blah, blah, blah. And I want to show you a few gifts that I got for you. So he's like pulling Bath and Body Works stuff out of the bag. And I'm just like, oh my God, he's so sweet.
Yeah.
Then he says, oh wait, I forgot one. He walks into my grandma's house. So everyone's like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? And so, yeah, he proposed on Christmas.
And your family didn't know?
Well, my dad knew.
Oh, okay.
And one of our best friends, Brandon. Yeah.
Aw, I love that. Oh, that is so, okay, so is he, does he do photography or videography, or was that just him like, oh, let me do this on the camera?
It's crazy. The one thing that I said I would never, ever do in photography, because I had the photography business before Justin. The one thing I said I would never do was wedding photography. And I meant it. I was so serious. When we got married, I did. I was just like, okay, whatever, like I'll do it. So he ended up buying me like all my equipment, new camera, new flashes, like everything. And someone, sure enough, like right after that, asked me to shoot their wedding. And I'm like, okay, I told y'all already, hopeless romantic, super cheese ball, love everything about love. And I loved photography. I never went back since. So that's how I like started shooting weddings. So when I started shooting weddings and realized that, oh, I need a second shooter, he got interested, and so he started shooting weddings with me.
Oh,
and then
so fun. I love that.
It was freaking fun. Like, it was just kind of like, it already feels like a party when you're with your bride and groom and like just the wedding day. But to have him there, it was a lot of fun.
Does it feel more like date night versus like working, or does it still feel more like working?
It felt more like date night versus working.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was still definitely a work feeling.
Right.
Yeah. But it was just a lot of fun.
Wedding wise, planning the wedding, how was that process?
I feel like there's like two types of brides. So there's the bride that's kind of like, oh, really chill, laid back, either doesn't really care or doesn't really know. And then you have like a bride like how you. This would be her.
I'm proud of the kind of bride I would be.
Yeah, she's going to be the most extra bride like on the face of the earth. But it's okay. We love it. Super like desires of extravagant and lush. Okay, so I was the one that was on the other end. Like, I didn't really care about anything or whatever. So when it came to wedding planning, it was my mom and a couple of people with her on her team. They have a background of planning weddings and stuff like that, and so she took over. But I just remember always being at the table and her always calling these planning meetings and being like, okay, do you want ombre flowers going down? Do you want this type of flower? Like, what kind of color is going to be our theme? And I would literally be like, I just want to marry Justin. Like, I just want to marry Justin. And they would be like, no, for real. Like, you have to pick stuff. Like, literally, you have to choose stuff.
Yeah. So
they kind of handled a lot of the planning for me. Not going to lie, when I got to my wedding, I was like, oh gosh, like, this is gorgeous. He did a great job, So I really didn't care about wedding planning.
Yeah, so you weren't very hands-on, like, at all.
At all.
Was there anything that you picked that you were like, I do want this?
Totally picked Justin.
Just
kidding.
Okay.
No, I picked my dress.
Okay.
I loved my dress. I always wanted it to be nice, but I just didn't really care about the details of it. And the planning of it and stuff like that. So I trusted them, and they took over, and it was really nice. Like, I loved it. I loved everything about it. They surprised me at the end of the night with like sparklers, and I thought that was the big surprise. And so we're like going through the sparklers, and there was like an even more grand surprise. They pulled off like a fireworks show, and so like just from start to finish, it was really, really special. But I didn't contribute very much.
Okay, so what would you suggest to a bride that is more like old Alyncia or before bride Alyncia that doesn't want to be more hands-on? What kind of advice would you give them in their planning?
I would say definitely if you just kind of want to relax, just take in the full engagement period and not be so hands-on. Even if we don't know, or even if we don't have a desire to be super hands-on, we know kind of what we want. I would say go on Pinterest, get on Google, like just look at different things that you like, because whoever will be planning your wedding, whether you hire a wedding planner, which I highly suggest, or if it's family or friends that are doing it with you, at least you can give them a blueprint and outline with pictures. Because if you can show them, hey, I don't really want to be too involved in this, but I love this look, then they have something to go off of.
Yeah.
And
somewhere to start, somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I would say, as a wedding planner, I have all kinds of clients. So sometimes I do have clients that are like, here's my money, please just make it beautiful. And that's a lot of pressure. And so we can do it. And I have tons of thoughts and ideas of what I think would be great. But when they can at least give me like a few pictures, like this is what I want. And that's okay. I feel like I didn't realize that there were brides like that until like almost like the last few years, because I grew up always just thinking and dreaming, and I just thought everybody was like that. Yeah. And so there's nothing wrong. One is not right, one is not wrong. So it's just different. But there really is, it doesn't mean that one is going to be better than the other. You just have to, that's your personality. You just wanted to marry your man. And I think that is like kind of how everybody feels, but there are just more details leading up to it. Okay. So I really want to talk about some shoots that we've done together. So I feel like we've done a lot, and I really don't, I try to like, last night, just like make a list of different ones that we've done together just so I could recall them. And like, I feel like I missed a lot. Like, I don't know, like we've done like at least 1, 2 a month.
I feel like we've done like 1 a month for like almost a year.
Yeah. And some were more than that.
Yeah.
But let's talk a few. Let's talk about at least the first one. Okay. So this is the first time we ever met. And I reached out to you. You had posted something about it, and I was like, hey, I can help. And then that's how it started, you and me.
I don't even remember that, but great.
I remember very much.
Y'all are hearing our love story.
Yes, exactly. So it was a shoot, a boho themed, and we had an attraction called Ooby Dooby Bus.
If y'all have seen those VW buses, and yeah, they took a VW Volkswagen bus and just kind of like painted it. This one was baby blue, and they made the inside a photo booth, but you can also get like really good photo ops outside of the booth. Some people decorated and stuff like that. So that was the big attraction that we had for that shoot.
And what was your inspiration for that?
I kind of wanted to do something more modern. So I know like it was more popular, like horse and carriage and boogie, back in the day, Cinderella kind of story. Now we're in 2020 and we have luxury cars and modern cars, and limousines are even a really big thing. But brides are so different and so unique. There's just so many different things you can do with it, like even posing a bride and groom in front of that type of bus. Yeah. It's different. It brings a new element that you really haven't seen before, which is why I really like styled shoots. You get a chance to dream and play, especially for the dreamers, but even for us that like don't like planning, you just can bring in so many different elements that you don't think. So I figured that the Ooby Dooby bus was just a really cool element to bring in for weddings. And
I feel like on past shows, we've mentioned styled shoots quite a few times, but if this is your first show to watch, do you want to explain like what a style shoot is before? I mean, we've already jumped in, but
yeah,
we can go backwards a bit.
I would say it's almost like a fake mock wedding. So we go to a different wedding venue in Houston, and we showcase lots of different vendors. So brides that are looking in the Houston area, we want them to know and see what's out there. So we'll bring in people that actually do real wedding cakes. We have people that have linen decor and wedding arches, real florists that can do floral installations, backdrops, photo booths, just all kind of stuff. We partner with dress boutiques for our models, hairstylists, and makeup artists. So literally, when you are walking onto the set of a style shoot, you're going to walk into a wedding venue that looks like someone is really getting married there. So people do their style shoots differently. Typically, I host like a big style shootout for mine. So we have, as you know, we always do like multiple couples at different stations or whatever. So it's just a really good way for the vendors to be very, very creative. It's also a way for them to always have new, fresh content, because we open it up to photographers to come. They can build their portfolios. I know a lot of questions that I get are these only for experienced photographers? And then some wonder, is this only for people that are just starting off their business? I tell people it's literally for everyone. If you're just starting off your business and you want to shoot really good stuff and really good content, get familiar with things that you would shoot at a wedding, have more practice before you get with your real bride and groom and you're just starting off, building portfolio. For all those reasons, it's great.
Yeah.
If you're just like super way up there and you feel like you've made it and you don't really need a styled shoot, but it's really fun to connect with other vendors and make those relationships in the industry, it's really good for that reason.
Right.
Also, even if you're like more successful in your business, I think we see, again, going back to the creative element that it brings. Sometimes I think in the wedding industry, there's kind of like a standard where it's like, oh, this is what a wedding is supposed to look like. This is what a wedding is supposed to be. And so even when someone is being really creative for their wedding, it's still in a box.
Yeah.
Just because this is what a wedding is supposed to be.
Right.
So I feel like these style shoots give us the ability to say, you've never seen this before, we're going to try it out and give you some new inspiration.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the most exciting things about weddings right now is that you can be unique. And I try to tell my clients, I mean, we can do this however you want. It's like, let's show your personality through this event. For me, I know like when someone hires me as their wedding planner, then I'm bringing their vision to life for the most part. But it's exciting when I get to do my own shoot, my own vision, and just try different things and play around with, well, maybe I've never seen anybody do this concept. Let's try to do something like this to see how it turns out and to inspire brides. Recently, I did swimsuit shoot, and did you even see those pictures?
I did.
And even as I say it, I know how like out there it is, but I really wanted to show, especially with COVID-19, that we have a lot of backyard weddings happening.
Right.
A lot of clients they're still doing a big wedding, but they want to have the ceremony now, getting married in their backyard and then planning the other. And I just want to show, man, if you're going to go ahead and do a backyard wedding, like you can really show your personality, especially with your home decor, things that you may already have.
Right.
And so we did a swimsuit shoot where the bride and groom were actually in their swimsuits because that was their personality, and then everything was just bright and colorful. And when I was telling it to people, they were just like, well, I'll put a bathing suit on because this will be fun, or I'll get good pictures or whatever, but I don't know if you're gonna pull it off. But I feel like once we did the arch and then, added the florals, like I felt like it turned out cute. It's not for every bride. I get that. You won't see me on my wedding day in a swimsuit. You won't.
Me either.
But
for many reasons.
But I love the idea. I felt like it was just unique, and if you can connect to your future spouse in a way of like this union being a true representation of who you are together, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and special.
Yeah.
I agree. Balloon styling is actually like a thing now. It's like, I don't know if it's going to be just a trend, but it's really big. It's really popular right now in the wedding industry. And
but you have to do it right. Like balloons is like you don't want to cross that birthday party
exactly
feel. Yeah.
Like you don't want to walk into the wedding venue and it looked like a child's birthday party or like Chuck E. Cheese, for sure.
Right.
But there are balloon stylists that do know what they're doing, and they take other key elements like tying in really pretty florals and greenery and like kind of looping it between balloons. And so it wouldn't necessarily be like anywhere near your wedding arch per se or anything like that, but in just cute little places. Like some people are doing mini mobile bars now, and so they might have like a cute little elegant balloon installation, going from the mobile bar. So I've had a lot of people say, I literally would have never in my life thought about including balloons in my wedding until I saw it, because sometimes you really don't know what you want until you see it. Right. So I think that's probably one.
Yeah, and I think like it's just like balloon garland. Like it's just kind of flows and it's pretty, but I agree.
Yeah, they're not like
careful.
Loose balloons, like just like thrown up
or
everywhere.
Helium, I mean, I think there are cute pictures you can have with that, like maybe like bridal leading up to like a Mr. and Mrs. like big oversized balloon, but it's very specific. You have to be careful.
Right.
What's another thing? I feel like there are a lot of different things. Yeah.
I'm thinking about tablescapes now. So when you're thinking about tablescapes at a wedding, I think it's pretty standard that most people would put like a table number, which is, again, nothing is wrong with that, but just thinking common wedding, you have a table number. It might be pretty. It might just be printed. It could be framed, and it's sitting on the table with a 1. And you have your basic charger and a plate and your flatware and a pretty glass. Pretty standard. But just being so creative. We've had calligraphers get like really pretty jewels or pieces of stone.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever, and they've written down their guest's name on like every stone, every jewel, every whatever, and put the actual stone on the table where their place setting is. And it seems simple, but when you see it photographed, when you see it in person, it's just something that's like,
it's just an extra special, pretty and unique and personality, and it can add color. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And not just jewels or stone, but like, I mean, anything a calligrapher can write on somehow just makes it more awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And if you can't, if you don't have money for a calligrapher, I mean, a Cricut or silhouette, like vinyl, like maybe you can do something like that just to add a little more like personality. But you don't want to get too much DIY going because that's a lot more stress. But I'm just saying for more the budget brides and stuff like that. Okay, another shoot. Another one. We did the green velvet styled shoot at the Gallery in Houston.
Yes. The Gallery is a wedding venue in Houston. It is beautiful. They have a lot of, you walk up to the venue and you don't even really feel like you're in Texas at all. You feel like you're somewhere abroad, foreign, overseas. And it has like a Mediterranean type feel to the venue. A lot of people get married and have outdoor ceremonies there. They have a beautiful downstairs area with like a gorgeous fountain, and then like an upstairs balcony area. And then they have a really pretty inside for a reception space that you can get married to.
A lot of brick and like greenery.
Yeah, lots of greenery. They have like a really popular jasmine courtyard where it's like a green garden full of jasmine when it's time, when it blooms. But then like a little away from that, they have like this huge, gorgeous ivy wall. And so anyone in the wedding industry knows that it is just something about greenery. When you can get around some greenery, whether it's greenery for florals on the tables or just a simple greenery like bouquet, or a greenery wall where, you know, you can have good photo opportunities, it just works. Green velvet is also a color you don't really see at a lot of weddings. But again, tying in other elements that are just kind of out of the norm, it was gorgeous. We had furniture and decor vendors that brought out like beautiful green velvet chairs.
I just like the texture, like the texture of it just kind of gave a little more personality to it somehow.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we did green and black with the tablescapes, lots of like black candles, and really pretty florals that kind of tied in with that. And then going back to calligraphy, I just remembered we used a calligrapher for that shoot, and she did like, remember like that like 8-foot scroll? It was like a scroll,
on the side of the table.
And we like draped it from the side of the table, and it was actually a love poem, written by yours truly.
Aw, I didn't know that.
You did.
That's sweet.
Anywho, it was just a really pretty shoot. I think we had 3 couples for that one. We had a gorgeous green velvet couch upstairs, and so we kind of divided it. For that one we had 2 couples, and then we had a solo bridal portrait model, because ladies, if you have the opportunity to take bridal portraits, do not skimp on that. So we highlighted bridal portraits for that portion, and she was upstairs doing that on the green velvet couch. And the other couples, we had like wedding arches, and we brought in a couple of rows of chairs to kind of make it look like a little intimate ceremony, which is really big right now with everything going on with COVID and Corona. Like clearly people are canceling their huge weddings, not really having a choice, and the intimate ceremonies are definitely a hit. So
and you mentioned the sofa. I think furniture rentals in general is just becoming more and more popular, which I'm a huge fan of. I think it gives just that extra element of like, it just makes it different. I'm all about like unique and like representing your personality. So that was fun. I feel like we've done a few shoots now with different furniture and moving pieces. That's really cool.
If you have the opportunity to incorporate furniture in your wedding, do it. And there's so many companies. Just do some research of the companies in your area. A lot of rentals and even sometimes wedding planners have it, or at least
we're offering some now, and I'm really excited about it. Just because I was like, I have these pieces and I just love them so much, and having like suites and stuff on the dressers and stuff is like
It's so cute. Yeah, hopefully they can show, hopefully we can get some images like scrolling and stuff like that, just so y'all can have an idea of what that would actually look like. But definitely furniture, whether they are colorful chairs, sofas, like just all of that kind of stuff. So when you're going back through your wedding gallery, when your photographer's finished with your photos, you don't want to just see like just chapel, just reception, like bringing as much livelihood to your wedding as possible. And furniture really, really takes it up a notch.
And really, even if you use something from your own home, like you don't have to rent this. And this is a good way to fill up your space, make it have personality without having to pay more money, which I'm all about bringing in vendors. I think it's important to have good quality vendors that work well together because it really, makes your day run smoothly. But I'm realistic too because, I wouldn't have a massive budget for a wedding, and I think most people probably don't. So. You can get something from home. Like look around what you have, and you can just bring that too.
I even saw today an article where, and I haven't seen this a lot, but I did see it this morning before I came, just because in the industry we're like always looking, always researching, always trying to find new ideas for our wonderful brides and grooms. But I saw where the front row of the ceremony on both sides, bride and groom side, or if you don't do a side, just front row on either side, they had beautiful like vintage antique couches, and that's where like the parents and grandparents sat, and then everything behind them was, regular chairs. But either way, that's just to say, furniture is really cool.
Pink pleasure styled shoot, over the top, florals everywhere, gorgeous. Oh my goodness, what inspired you for this shoot?
I think what we wanted to do with this shoot is a lot of our style shoots that we do, we try to take small. So just an example, we talked a little bit about your table settings, like when you go into a reception. So a lot of the shoots that we've done together, we might do like one table and like deck it out to where it's still gorgeous and you can get an idea. And we might put a bride and groom at that table so that you can see as a bride and groom like what that's gonna look like, how it'll photograph, and get different ideas. But one table. So even though it's really cool for a styled shoot, we wanted to bring in an element to where you could see it look a lot more like a real wedding. So this was the first one where we were like, no, even though we always deck them out, let's go full out. So we had literally like the whole reception where we had a backdrop flower wall from Book of Bloom in Houston. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. And we had a whole dessert station with like cakes and cookies and assorted desserts, which is another thing. People are doing way more things than just wedding cakes. Some people are doing donut walls, marshmallow bars. Like some people don't even want real catering. They're doing like pizza buffets. So get creative there. Yes, we did that. And then like
get what you want.
No, for real, do you. So yeah, just like full reception, what is it called? Photo booth, like just everything. Plenty of arches, decor inside, outside. The colors, we wanted to do literally 50 shades of pink, and that is what we did. I think we had like light pink, bright pink, soft pink, like hot pink, but it was just amazing. The florals were outstanding, so it was just fun. It was fun.
And it turned out phenomenal.
Yes.
Hopefully you enjoyed some of these photos that we shared and the style shoots that Alyncia hosted and put on with Style Shoots of Houston, and I had the pleasure of working with as well. So remember, it's your wedding. It is unique to you, and you can plan it however you would like. Use everything around you as your inspiration and just decide there's no right or wrong, and happy wedding planning.